Rains are falling every day, and kings are rising just the same.
Good evening and welcome to your midweek party, Kings with Kosine on Fox Soul. I am your host, Marcos Enrique Palacios, aka Kosine. This week we're in for a treat. Back in the day, my career in its early stages, I was discovered by Vincent Herbert, right, who introduced us to his partner, a genius manager at the time by the name of Troy Carter. And this brother was by far one of the smartest people I've ever met. I used to watch how he moved in between the music world and the technology world at the same damn time. He went from managing Lady Gaga to being a global executive for Spotify. And he was one of the first people I really saw straddling the industries in a real way. So today, that's what we're jumping into. The thing that you sometimes love and sometimes hate. And no, I'm not talking about your relationship. I'm talking about technology. I know for a fact I can't live without it. And as always, as you're tuning in, we'd love for you to drop your questions in the comment section and we'll be checking in on that. Tonight, we got an incredible panel. These brothers are on top of their game in the technology space, which spans from entertainment and social media to health, wellness, and activism. My first guest, he's someone who's close to my heart, right? I knew him before he knew himself. This brother has been on a quest to create a better EpiPen and app for people who suffer from allergies. His company, Allergy, has raised almost $1 million in its seed round. Help me welcome, I'm older than him by 6 weeks, my little cousin, Javier Valentino Evelyn. Javier, what's good, Pape?
What's going on, Wapping? So happy to be here and looking to share some gems and learning a lot with y'all today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that, my brother. Next up, this brother broke onto the scene as a member of the group Pretty Ricky. He went on to become one of the country's most innovative tech entrepreneurs. Through his company, and correct me if I'm saying this wrong, AdWizard. Get me right. AdWizard, okay, cool. AdWizard, okay. He manages the social media accounts of your faves like a past Kings with Cosign guest, Master P, Jermaine Dupri, Birdman, Kevin Gates, and over 100 others to the tune of over $65 million in revenue. His current passion project is an education program to teach computer skills to single mothers. Help me with welcoming Mr. Grind on Me. Spectacular. What's up, fam?
What's up, man? I appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you, my brother. From the early days at MTV, my next guest is one of the architects of music and technology. Although he's often in the background making it happen, he's moved the needle of the culture at companies like Revolt, Spotify, and now at YouTube as a director of Black music and culture. Tuma Basa, ladies and gentlemen, how you feeling, brethren?
I feel good. Thank you, Kosine, for having me.
I appreciate that that motivational talk before we jumped on the show, man. You got our spirits right.
It worked.
And finally, my fellow HBCU family and marching band brethren, my dog was on them cymbals. This brother has helmed the careers of artists like Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Jill Scott, Lil Nas X, and of course, the Canadian brother Drake. He's a manager extraordinaire who has his finger to the pulse of technology and entertainment. Help me welcome from the Blueprint Group. Let me get that right, Mr. Cortez Bryant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, brother? How you?
And look, you representing. Hey, man, I appreciate you being on, but you representing JSU, dog. Y'all got Deion Sanders. You looking real good in the HBCU
Look, man,
world
we looking great right now. We looking great. I'm feeling good. I slept good. I woke up. My face looked a little bit younger because I know all the fun I'm gonna have this semester when we come back with football, bro. So we feeling good in Jackson, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to do a quick little round table, just kind of tapping in with brothers, with the craziness that's going on, and we'll get into that later on the show. But how are you doing? A quick wellness check. I'm gonna go straight to you, Tuma.
Oh, I'm great. I sit in front of a laptop screen all day, but I make sure in between, do the stretches and the little laps around the apartment, morning walks, and just mental freshness on the balcony.
I love it. I love it. Spec, how you doing over there, man? You look like money over there. That background that you got going right there. You talk about kings with Kosine. I see you, king.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling blessed, man. Actually, the pandemic just been great for me, just to be focused and double down on what counts, and set my priorities and executing on them. So it's been beautiful for me.
Yes, sir. Primo, how you doing over there, Detroit?
Excellent. In light of all that's going on in this world, lots of wins that help see above all the smoke and all the darkness in this world, man. So it's looking bright from an allergy perspective, and looking forward to sharing more on that note as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I don't know, fellas. I can kind of remember the 8-track. I definitely remember.
You ain't gonna ask me how I'm doing?
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, that's not ready. That's not how we grew up.
It's the rivalry. It's the rivalry, bro.
That's not how we grew up. We didn't grow up that way.
Look, I felt like since you kicked it off and you was like, yo, my skin feeling good. I'm looking younger.
Okay,
I kind of felt like we touched on you, but nah.
Okay, all right.
I don't want you to feel no type of way. How you feeling, Cortez? What's that word
I'm
over
feeling
there?
great because prime time is at Jackson State University. Just want to say
Yes,
that again. There you go.
All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I'm in throwback vibes real quick because I can a little bit remember the 8-track. I definitely remember vinyl, of course. And tapes. I think about myself being in Chicago recording WGCI from 6 to 10 and having to take that pencil to get your tape right. Then I remember going, of course, to CDs, file sharing, right? Napster. And then now, okay, it's 2020 and we are in streaming. So, Tuma,
Yeah.
coming to you first. Digital music killed CDs literally to the point that laptops like MacBooks don't even have built-in CD readers anymore, bro. It's over with. Record labels almost went out of business until they learned to embrace digital opportunities. How has technology, Tuma, changed the entire landscape of music right now?
Well, first of all, nothing killed nothing. These things died. They evolved. Back in the day, people bought sheet music, and then they would play it on a piano, and then they went to the phonograph, and they would the people felt like their music was being ripped off because they could hear them playing the piano on the phonograph, and then the 8-track and the cassettes, etc., etc. So nothing died. It's just things evolved. This is basic caterpillar to butterfly type vibes, and this happens with all kinds of technologies, not just music. It's happened. We saw it in photographs where we're doing little paper photos, and now we see our photos on Instagram or in our camera roll. It happens. It's happening. It's natural evolution. It's natural.
Spec, what you think? Because you got real experience on that stage and then the transition. So talk to me about that, man. Technology.
Yeah, I think technology is one of the greatest gifts of the music industry right now. I think that it grows the legs of all music, and it let the people tap into it the way they're supposed to and be able to, really dig into the music and feel it, versus like before, they'll be in the situation where they can't really enjoy the music because they probably couldn't afford it. But now you got things for like $5 and you get to listen to all the music, right? But artists still get paid off of that. So I think it's a beautiful thing, something to embrace. And I think the music labels embraced it and figured out a way to capitalize off of it. Now you can get plaques off of streams. When I was on the top of the world, Pretty Ricky, you had to sell 1 million albums, to be on top of the world. But now you can do 1 billion streams and be on top of the world. So, and not even sell a lot of albums. So I think it's a beautiful thing.
Now I'm thinking about how technology has made the world smaller. Cortez, since we've been on quarantine, and then Javier, I want you to jump in right after. how has the world gotten smaller? What's the app that we just got? That app from yesterday, Community is some where people
Community.
are just
Text
Clubhouse.
messaging, yeah.
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Clubhouse.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
dope.
learning about
After party. That's what I'm going after
That's the
this.
after party.
that's the after party of the show.
Listen, there's some great conversations going on in there, man.
Yeah.
Like that's a super dope app to for conversation. And that's key. I think that technology definitely enhanced the world getting smaller. In great ways. As a music manager. I've always thought about, as it rolled out, because I came at the end of the CD era. I was there for the transition. It's been 16 years now. So, it's done me justice to be able to track data and understand what my audience was globally around the world as I tried to, take my clients and get them to worldwide international stars, So the data and all the platforms that helped me track it allowed me to understand what was going on in the world and focus on those different areas and kind of get them outside of America and make sure I capture them to become the global stars that they were. And are.
That's crazy thinking about technology and globalization. Jump in there. How's the world gotten smaller for you, being on the health side with technology?
No, 100% agree with what everybody said so far. Number one for me, like I'm in health tech, I'm in tech now, but that's not what I went to school for. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was focusing at Illinois State in mass communications, came across tech later on, but it wasn't like I had to go get a master's degree in that, right? Literally because of technology and the internet, I used to what I call YouTube University, right? So literally, okay, let me find out like where are the online courses to learn how to code. And this is before, like right now we live in a great time where literally whether it's schools that will pay you after you get a job or you pay a little something like places in Detroit like Grand Circus, 8 weeks learn how to code. That's a superpower, right? So you brothers across the board have the ability to create a lot from tech, obviously, to music, right? For the common person that's looking for that maybe 100K plus job or whatever it is to take the family to that next economic level. There has not been a better time in America to learn up and tool up in terms of learning how to code or anything that's associated with it, right? So at the end of the day, it's just a great time. And if it wasn't for now, you think about our generation across the board, we're probably in general all around the same age range. We're the first generation ever to live in this analog / and now digital world, right? So we got a nice amount of, background to kind of figure it out. In health tech, it just makes, again, learning stuff so much easier. Allows me to connect with great organizations like MedTech Color, sit on the board with that. We're backed by Johnson & Johnson, Medtronic, and some of the top companies in pharma and MedTech, right? That wasn't going to happen as easy without, the democratization of communication and information.
Kosine.
Yes,
can I ask what Javier just talked about? Because I lived that. Is in the early 90s, I lived in Zimbabwe. I was a teenager living in Zimbabwe who wanted to rap. My name was Tuma Basa as a rapper.
Oh my God, I never knew that.
Yeah. But this is the deal.
This is the exclusive.
Wait. But this is the deal. This is, I think, 1992, 93. It was impossible for someone who was rapping in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, to get into the doors of an A&R who were all in big cities in New York or LA or London, maybe Kingston, if you're lucky, your reggae. It was impossible. It was impossible to press the records. It was expensive, right? Even if you did get your demo in the right hands to get to a magazine editor or an A&R, you know what I mean, and get signed, and then get your record physically distributed. Now we have so many artists from Africa, right? They upload on YouTube or SoundCloud. They get popping on TikTok or wherever, and the whole world is dancing to their records, right?
Like
the whole world,
just like that. Mr. Easy,
and monetizing, and making money.
5 years ago, I didn't even know. That's crazy. Spec, I want to see you though, just jumping in on technology, because I want to know why you were in the group. Were you like always thinking like a young entrepreneur, like, man, wait till it's over 5, I'm gonna be richer than everybody? You know what I mean? Like, what was it that made you jump right into social media and to know to make the pivot?
Yeah, so I always been an entrepreneur at heart, from being in third grade, selling $10,000 worth of candy bars for the school, to being in sixth grade.
$10,000 worth of candy bars for the school.
Yeah. And yep, and they robbed me, man. They gave me a bubblegum beeper and like a yo-yo. Like, I felt robbed. So I opened up shop for myself. That at that point I realized that you got to go into business for yourself. And then I opened up shop back again in sixth grade, and decided to get 10 people to work for me just to scale horizontally. And because when I was trying to sell the candy, I couldn't really sell much, like, because I only could carry so much, and went from that to $1,500 a week to $2,000 a week at 11, and started the group Pretty Ricky when I was in like 8th grade. So I've always been an entrepreneur. So when Pretty Ricky was going viral and all that stuff, like, I was one of the guys that was behind that. We was number one on MySpace when MySpace was out. And a lot of people don't really know that. I just was always behind the scenes and using, different strategies to generate impressions and views and sales. And, I took social media by storm for the group Pretty Ricky, for sure.
That's crazy.
That's dope.
Cortez, as I look at your wall though, fam, your wall, and I know that's not even all the I know that's just a little pocket. You know what I mean? Talk to me about.
Didn't you contribute? Didn't you contribute to one of these? I don't have that flag up.
I'm sure. But jump in on like music and technology and how you've been using it with your clients and even with brands that you building with. What you got on that side?
I think that, like I said, we had a traditional model early on. I think that when we picked up G-Eazy, so the Wayne, early Drake, Nicki, early, we still was using the blueprint. Radio was still a powerful tool. We was paying attention to the audience at radio. Now we had, I have a great person on my team. I'm not the guy named Brian Calhoun. He heads up all our strategy. He's a VP at Pandora also, but he heads up all the digital strategy for Blueprint Group. One thing we did understand early, before we knew it was going to take off, as a management company, we want to make sure that we took the power. We want to bring, not rely on the label for services, and make sure that we bring all these things in-house. So we had a digital strategy person. We had my partner who's a guru at touring, Sean G. We have film and television, branding. So we had all these things under one umbrella. And digital strategy is one important thing. Brian come from a long way of working for big companies. He kind of started Sound Exchange, and at the same time working for us. We sent them to Oakland for a couple years, as everything was popping off, just so he could kind of bring everything back down to us. We didn't really implement the strategy though. We was doing certain things, we was, working hand in hand as it was growing, but really shifting our model from how we regularly did business, or let's pick this radio single and this urban single, and then we're gonna spend money at radio with ads, and then pick a crossover single that's a little bit more BPMs, put the album out, the third single the people gonna pick. Like, we had a plug and play type system with all our artists, but G-Eazy was the first artist because he was younger and he came from he was born on on those social media platforms. We started thinking different. We started spending money on ad dollars and doing a lot of different digital campaigns early, and we saw a lot of success in that. People didn't understand like where he came from and how the hell he had 4 platinum albums, and you may only know one goddamn single, the one with him and Cardi. So, but that strategy allowed us to be very successful early with him, and when we started using it.
I love
a lot of people don't know, like, even if you do like ads on YouTube or ads on Facebook or Instagram, it's like a penny per view. So a lot of people don't know those strategies. You can literally like insert your video and put more views on the video at a penny per view and target your specific audience. You can even take the link from another video of the target audience you want, insert it into YouTube, and they would actually target all those people that viewed that current video that you plugged in.
Yes.
That's like some cheat code shit right there. Wait, what? You can take the link from the demographic that you are targeting towards put it in your video and you live.
Not in your video, in the back end of YouTube, you can plug it in and it'll actually target all those viewers that watch that current video from that link.
Damn. Oh, that's a real bar,
Yeah,
right?
Tuma, like, what y'all know about that? How you supposed to know about that?
I work for the
That's hilarious. Well, look, we're gonna run the break real quick. After this break, we're diving into dollars and cents behind the black tech bubble. You do not want to miss this. More Kings with Kosine here on Fox Soul. And we're back. I'm your host, Kosine, and we're about to follow this dollar and make it make sense. A lot of ballers on this panel today. According to the Brookings Institute, the global digital economy is worth $11.5 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Yet black folks aren't getting a big piece of the pie. Recently, with all of the social protests taking place across the country, the tech industry has found itself on the wrong and very white side of history. According to Market Watch, venture capital from Silicon Valley to New York remains an industry deeply rooted in its investing and hiring patterns, self-perpetuating funding for a limited number of privileged communities that are overwhelmingly white, male, and Ivy League educated. Javier, I'm coming right to you, bruh.
Yes,
I know you're almost at the $1 million mark with your seed round, but how hard was it for you to crack in the door when initially trying to fund your invention? You know what I mean?
For sure. It was definitely one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. And not just because of the endeavor of being black. That's definitely the underarch, no matter what anyone says about it. But ultimately, the number one thing, we're doing it from the Midwest, right? And doing that, you're not going to get the access. I think like 80% of venture capital goes towards the East and West Coast, specifically like basically Silicon Valley, LA area-ish, up to like Boston and New York. So knowing that up front, you're going to have a little bit of an uphill battle. But doing it in the Midwest, doing it in Detroit, obviously you got ties to Chicago as being like I say a competitive advantage. Why? You get a chance to do a lot more with dollar goes a little bit further, number one. Number two, you got firms such as that are actually from the West Coast and East Coast. You got some such as Backstage Capital. You got some that are Midwest based like Lightship Capital that literally are geared towards investing in Black and brown founders, underrepresented minorities. One of our investors like to say Marlon Hamilton underestimated, right? Folks that typically are overlooked for these dollars. Programs like Transparent Collective, I can name them ad nauseum. The reality is that as a founder of color, Black founders specifically, you're not, it's one thing that I stumble upon is that I try to run that same playbook, right? That our peers that don't look like us were running, right? So I found the playbook to get into tech. I'm like, cool, this worked. All right, I'm just gonna copy and paste whatever is next to get to this next level. No. We have a different set of rules in this game, right? Get to revenue a little bit faster. Things that do make financial sense, don't get me wrong, but they don't involve the benefit of the doubt that our peers get, which end up getting an insane amount more capital than we do on a natural basis. So the cool thing that inspires me is the fact that it's not an industry that Black folk have not remixed and taken to a different level. I'm looking at you brothers in music and entertainment and beyond. We've done that in this space, in that space, and that's coming to tech. So this is the best time, not just to be a tech founder, in my opinion, even in the midst of a COVID. Black and brown folks been living in COVID for years. We've been living with financial restraints and other stuff.
Talk that shit. No, that's real.
Yeah.
Cortez, I'm coming to you because tech investments, venture capitalists, they're not usually Black. So how does this affect the Black community in terms of our stake in technological advancements and new inventors who don't get funded? You know what I mean? Where the plugs at in this space?
I mean, I'm actually dealing with it right now. One thing I got going on, I'm getting into the edutainment, education and entertainment, education technology. I call it edutainment field, right? I'm launching this soon, probably next 2 months. Launching this platform called Be Great. It's if you want to compare it to Masterclass. So it's you know, and I meet all y'all on. I'm probably gonna get tapped into everybody that's on here
now,
to be a part of it.
I want you to know, not to cut you off, but I want you to know I love it already, because that's where I got my start. I went to FAM first, graduated from Columbia, you know what I mean? And at 23, the head of my department was like, look, don't feel like you got to run to LA right away. If you want, you could teach here. So at 23, I was a college professor. I made up a class called hip hop beat making. And that was the beginning of learning how to articulate what it was that we were doing in the studio. So like, I love where you going with this edutainment, bro. Please continue.
Yeah, so I need that. So so that's what it is. It's masterclass for Black people, right? I want to purposely do something, you know, that, you know, because I feel like it's a lack of exposure still in our community. And as I've been thinking about putting us on an equal playing field, I feel like, you know, these kids need to see people like us. You know, like technology is allowing them to sit there. You see, they're learning from home right now. It's a lot. I feel like the curriculums are archaic, and it's, you know, it's allowing them to open their computers, get on the platform, and really learn. I want them to learn from people that look like us, you know, and with skills, with a skill set and how to get there. So I was saying that to say, on the raising side, I think it's just more about, you know, we don't. There's gatekeepers. What I've learned, there's gatekeepers in that space, you know, and with these venture capitalist firms, where it's a whole lot of money sometimes to get in this space. I'm blessed enough to kind of pivot that way through, like you said, Troy Carter, who first kind of introduced me early on. You know what I'm saying? Then my partner with Maverick, Guy Osiri, and Ashley Kutcher, they're heavy in it. So I've been able to make some dope investments, but it's also led the lane, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like this. So I'm looking like I'm in, you know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to put my money in there, but I'm looking like, wait, you know what I'm saying? So I think that it's going to take platforms like me. So I open it up. You know, when we started this and we started raising, I'm hitting up everybody that I know, whether it's my artist clients and my athletes that we represent, you know, let my homies put in. I wasn't giving them no top, you know, I was like, you don't have to put in, you don't have to have $50,000, $75,000. In this next series, we're going to have a crowdfunding type raise so that any normal Black person that just have $2,000 or $1,000 coming around can invest. I think that's what it is. There's gatekeepers that keep it. Then they set the level so high, whereas though, you know, ain't no Black families got just, you know, the average Black family got 50 grand, 100 grand just sitting around to make these investments in these companies. So I think that's the problem. And I think that it's going to take people like myself who's starting this tech company to make sure I purposely think about us and help get, not only educate with this platform I'm doing, educate Black people about things like that and about tech, but also allow them to invest.
Tuma and Spec, because now I'm thinking about Nas, you know, and how he has truly gotten to the bag with his tech investments. Who are the other Black players in entertainment and technology? And what's the secret sauce?
I mean, one I hear about a lot is Paul Judge in Atlanta. I hear a lot of good angel investing he does. One, you're talking about Nas, don't sleep on Millionaire. Yeah. Millionaire is basically built a successful career, right? And it's his mission for Black people to know about gaining access to capital. He's a venture capitalist. He's a venture capitalist. And he's like he stays tapped in terms of like what the hot investments are, the startups, the ones that are going to blow. He shares that information because a lot of the issue is information sharing. We don't have access to the information because we don't have the relationships. We're not plugged into that network of venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, right? Who are putting, because these are capital intensive ventures. You got to pay engineers big money for them to not take a job at some other startup or big tech company, etc. So Millionaire, I mean, you mentioned Troy earlier, right? I attended Troy's the Atom Factory, their incubator or accelerator, and I attended the Code and Culture in Detroit. Blew my mind, like literally blew my mind. Troy Carter. I'm sorry, I said Troy, but it's Troy Carter for those who don't know what Troy Carter is. But when I got invited to that and I got exposed to the knowledge that they were sharing, and that was both tech and culture, right? It was convergence. And you're talking about articulating at Columbia College about what you do in the music business. How about how hard it is to articulate culture to tech people, or how hard it is to articulate tech to people who are into culture? So that convergence and what he was doing there with the culture code, I was blown away.
Spec, what you got with it, man? As far as brothers in the business, man, that really have figured it out.
Yeah, like Cortez. I mean, I can help you with all the school stuff. My school just did 1.2 million last month, and we built it from scratch. We have over 5,000 students just building it up. Same thing, what you talking about, Tuma, on Black individuals connecting. I created an organization, nonprofit called Power Circle, where we got all people of colors coming together to share resources. We're building technology behind it. We're doing meetups, masterminds, sharing resources, everything to connect the dots and be able to share our experiences based on what we're going through and be able to really get real feedback in real time from people who actually been there, done that, who's experiencing what I'm experiencing. And we're breaking it down in 3 levels. First level is from 100K to $1 million. That's called the executive circle. From $1 million to 15 million is called the founder circle. From 15 million and above, it's called the genius circle. So building technology where if you want to come in and you want to literally have a one-on-one conversation in the middle of the night, you can go to the part of the app where you can go and click on it, click the different details, Genius Circle Real Estate, and get mentorship right then and there on real estate to learn whatever you want to learn about. If it's investors, if it's whatever's that main thing that you need help with, you go on the resource list, you type in a keyword investors, and all investors pop up, rating from 1 to 5, and it'll let you know the number, the name, and then who put it in there. So if you want to reach out and have a conversation to that person before you reach out to that connection, then you good. Because the issue is, Cortez might have a plug on something that I don't even know of. I'm gonna give you an example. I had an example of somebody who was in the technology field, and I needed access to a graphic shirt designer. And I randomly just asked him that. He was like, "Yo, what made you ask me? Do I know a t-shirt designer?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just closed mouth don't get fed. Do you?" And he had one of the top-notch designers my favorite designer. He gave me access to it. So it's things like that always happen that we don't even know that you got access to this certain thing. But if it's a platform that you can just plug in everything that made a huge impact in your life, and somebody could hit a keyword and then go get what made a huge impact to you. If I had a Facebook guy that's killing it, a YouTube guy that's killing it, certain resources and connections, you type it in and boom, just because you in the power circle, you plugged in.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm thinking about how when I got a question, I run to Google, and to find a rabbit hole, you can actually run to a plug.
Yes. It's called
technology.
Yes, it's called powercircles.org.
Powercircles.org.
You already built this.
Oh, I'm quick.
Oh shit! I thought you talking about something else.
We live.
Yeah.
We was going around the circle asking about brothers that are in tech. We use Nas. It got to Spec. Spec was like, "Well,
I do this.
I'm the plug,
man." We just started taking applications. Literally, we opened up last week. We only opened it up to 30 founding members, and right now we closed it off. We have over 100 applications already, but we're just bringing everybody in step by step, taking them through the application process, the vetting, interviewing process, and then we letting everybody in one by one.
Oh, okay. So look at this. We got a question that just popped in from Yolanda W. She says, "So again, I don't know if she had an attitude, but I'm just telling you the vibration that I'm feeling from the question." So again, how would someone like myself get to the information they have access to? I can't call Nas and be like, "Put me on game." That's how you're coming in high on the questions, man.
Yeah. So this is what I would definitely say, like people like Cortez coming up with these programs. I have my programs right now. The information is out there. You just got to figure out who breadcrumbs you're gonna follow. Success leave clues. You got to figure out who is you gonna be a mentor and how you're gonna take that person who has the address to where you want to be at and put it into your GPS of success and let him guide you to there. If it's a detour, say, hey, go here, save 10 days, then your mentor is gonna tell you that and get you there to the quickest way possible. So stop worrying about like the what. Go focus on the who.
But some of the information is closed. Even in music, there's a lot of information that's confidential, it's password protected. You have to be like gain trust, and that's where relationships comes in, right? Is building relationships where that people can co-sign you to co-sign, no pun, co-sign you to the people who do have the, you know what I mean, not just the gems, but like just the information you can't Google, the information that you can't think, because even spectacular when you have your schools and stuff, that's proprietary, that's privileged information. You're not just putting it out there, right? The same thing with if my money, if I'm going to invest in, I better you better understand what I need. Not forget about, I better understand your product or what you're talking about, or trust that you'll deliver and give me a return, right? So that's where the relationships is. That's in the music business, we know all about that. Like, and you have to build the value first for me to even want to have a relationship with you, to share that information with you. Why am I going to share information with you?
So this is the thing.
You were getting emotional.
Yeah, this is the thing, though.
It's real. That's why relationships are important.
No,
this is the rule of thumb when building a relationship. Give 10 times, ask for 1. You got to put more deposits in than withdrawals. And you got to figure out what that person needs and go actively, intentionally go get it for them and disappear on them. Like if I'm listen, I build a relationship, I'm gonna actively listen to what you need. And if you say, oh, I'm looking for assistant, I'm literally gonna dig into my vault, go ask all my friends. I'm gonna go find an assistant and I'm gonna go hand it to you. Say, here you go, Cortez. Here go your assistant right here. And I'm gonna haul ass. I'm gonna do that about 10 times. So by the time I ask for something, it's gonna get reciprocated. And the reciprocation rule is a 10x rule. So if I make you $1 million, the reciprocation rule tells me that you want to make me at least 10 million back. Cause I just handed you a quick bar for no reason. You ain't even asked for it. I literally dropped. So many people are being they're not being proactive on what they want. It's not, oh, do you need help? Let me know. It's no, I'm here. What you need help with?
That's heavy. No, hold on. That's heavy right there. And it's ringing spiritual too, because we're servants out here. And I feel like brothers forget that we are here to serve. And by you even saying, I pull up in the game and boom, I'm just serving, I'm there. You building up that rapport, that's heavy. Look, we got to run the break real quick. But when we come back, I'm going straight to Javier because I have watched him on this road to $1 million kill pitch contest. So Javier, when I come back, what 3 things should black tech companies be thinking about when pitching to investors for that big dollar? It's the Kings with Kosine right here on Fox Soul. We'll be back. Welcome back to Kings with Kosine right here on Fox Soul. And I was just about to run over to my cousin, my primo, so that he can talk to us about his pitch expertise. You know what I mean? What 3 things should black tech companies be thinking about when pitching to investors, Javier? What you got?
Yeah, first and foremost, I'll say know your audience. So if you're in the health tech space, you know, you got to make sure, as an example, obviously I'm selfish with it, make sure you know your audience. Are they the patient? Do they understand? Have they invested in that space? There are a lot of tools that are out there to allow you to determine. You can basically, to a similar capacity what Spectacular is doing with his amazing program geared towards the VC economy. So Crunchbase, PitchBook, you can holler at a young analyst to give you free access, free game. Those seats cost $14,000. This company is never going to pay for that. If you can just talk to somebody that can run you a report to figure out who's raising what. Beyond that, obviously obviously know your numbers when you talk about pitching. If you don't know what direction this is going in the first place, it's going to be a long road in the first place. But beyond that, I keep it very simple, man. I mean, at the end of the day, you are the world expert in the product that you are building. yes, there's different folks that have expertise in different spaces, but literally whether it's the IP, whether it's whatever culture that you're building at your company, whatever is the value prop that's going to set you above the top, your competition, et cetera, own that. And I think you'll see a good example, shameless plug, we'll be pitching at Detroit Demo Day, DetroitDemoDay.com or .org. We're going to be one of 17 companies pitching for $1.7 million. So see it in action. You're going to see folks that have a tech background, more sort of brick and mortar based, and really apply to as many as possible. You asked for 3, but there's so many more that I would add to that for sure.
Okay. I got one thing to add to that that I thought has been very valuable over my career, and I think it resonates anything that you're trying to sell. I think is get your elevator pitch together, right? Absolutely. You know, you never know how long, you know, when you're going to meet somebody, where you're going to run into somebody, how much time they have. So I would figure out a way to maximize everything, your strengths, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, you know, your minute, they call it the elevator speech, right? And get those key moments that you're going to try to grab somebody in, just in case you run away, you know, run to them on the fly, you know, and practice it in the mirror all the time, you know, so you're ready if opportunity presents itself and you have a short window.
Separation in the preparation. 100% agree with that one.
I know that's right. Separation is in the preparation. All right, cool. Let's shift gears and let's talk about cancel culture, right? Because it is a real thing. Sometimes it's over the top and it can feel like mob mentality, bullying, but other times I believe it serves a purpose. For example, when Brother Gucci came out with a line of retro hip hop designs that were taken straight from the 90s showroom floor of Dapper Dan, hashtag Black Twitter called out the company until they fixed it by giving a deal to Dapper Dan, which was long overdue, right? That was a beautiful example of social media getting it right. The question for everybody, I mean, anybody can take a stab at it. What's your take on the role that social media has taken in righting society's wrongs by calling them out and applying that pressure?
I mean, I'll say it real quick. Technology is definitely the equalizer for Black folk. I mean, there's so many people that have been murdered in front of a camera and been shared via social media. You think about like 100 years ago when this is still going on, it was all myths. It was just the stories, and there's something so powerful. Obviously, when you see that person's name, when you see the human that person was, we're the first in the generation that's been able to unfortunately see that. It's been a gift and a curse. Obviously, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. The fact that that's happened, and we'll talk about it more, but definitely without a doubt, alerting the folks of like what we're really living in and what ways we can like work together, whether it's the programming, et cetera, to just work towards a better cause.
Man, that's real talk. And it's crazy that on the day that Breonna Taylor does not get justice, that we touch right on that. You know what I'm saying? Because the fuckery is real.
Yeah, I think there's a flip side to that also. You know, it's definitely a powerful tool that could be used, but as a music manager, you know, a lot of social, there's no fact checking these days, and there's no real news these days, right? So I have to deal with the stories put out, you know, people fabricating things on social media, centralizing it becomes a big thing, and I'm manager putting out fires, right? So it also could have a negative effect. You know, technology is a gift and a curse, right? It's a power play, but then it's a side of it that I deal with where, you know, people run this clickbait. It's a clickbait society right now. Journalists aren't credible when in some reporting, and I have to deal with managing a lot of situations based off of, you know, the people that you know, the people that just spread things and spread rumors just for the clickbait society of it all.
I think cancel culture, the original intention was good. You know what I mean? It's for people without power to address people with power, right? And make change. I think the unintended side effects are bad, right? And some of that is when people are like presumed guilty before they even get a chance to
all the details and everything.
Yeah, what Tez is talking about, because I've seen it happen where I know the real story. but then like social media is like pummeling and et cetera, and then the real people involved, they're almost, they can't even defend themselves, et cetera, without looking crazy or et cetera. So they're waiting for the moment where
this is the time when you got to turn that phone off, man. You got to unplug from the matrix in that moment. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. But remember, the people are also dealing with real life stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like during all that stuff is going on, they're dealing with the real life stuff. So sometimes they can't even address the stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because they're dealing with the real life, the health or the police or whatever. They're dealing with real life stuff. You know?
Yeah, I would say this. I feel like the cancer culture for our own culture should be make it right. It shouldn't be canceled. It's like make it right. So if you did something that the culture don't like, then it's your obligation to say, hey, you did this, you did wrong. All right, make it right. So you can enable the growth, right? Give them that, have that accountability there for the culture. And I think that's what it should be for us. But for people, police killing and all that, then that's cancel culture. Yeah, that's a must, But in terms of for us, if somebody does something wrong or they take something they weren't supposed to take, no, it's make it right. Apologize, do it,
Nobody's
and become a better.
Yeah.
Nobody perfect. Become a better person, and that's what I feel like it should be. Versus, you make one mistake, you work your whole career, and then one incident you cut off after all this hard work. So it's like you get built up just to get tore down. And I feel like right now, as a culture and as people of color, we should be building each other. Like, listen, you made a mistake. How can we make this better? How can we help you make this better? So you can see what you did and become a better person for us, the community.
Absolutely. Heavy. We all gonna fall short of the glory at some point. Amen. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, forgiveness, man. Forgiveness is a real, that's real right there, man. I was looking up the definition of love. Keeps no record of wrongs, man.
Wow.
When we come back, we're gonna talk about where we see technology going. We're gonna take one last break. This is the Kings with Kosine right here on Fox Soul. We back up in this thing. It is the Kings with Kosine. Tuma, I'm coming right at you because you're right in the middle of music and technology. As we're wrapping up and closing the show, what innovations and what things should we be keeping an eye out for the future of tech?
Well, I think we're living it right now. I think the future is now, and it's exactly what's happening right now. This is live streaming, right? And this has become norm. And so I believe that monetization in live streaming is the future. But the way they're doing it in China right now is that they're mixing e-commerce and live streaming. In China, like, you'll be watching the people the same way people watch people play video games, or they watch is literally they're selling products. They're clicking on videos and buying what they're wearing in the videos. They're on some next level thing. So I think monetization in live stream, right? Whether it be from the concerts, because all the live shows are canceled. So people are figuring it out now as we speak. Even at YouTube, we have paid digital goods like super chat and super stickers, where you literally can watch someone perform and you're throwing little stickers that you're paying for, and it's your way of expressing love. It's like applauding. It's like applauding. So I think
the little hearts that you saw on the IG live actually is like coins, like Sonic the Hedgehog. You're getting real coins in this thing.
You're gonna be buying your girl digital roses. You know what I mean? Like literally, or digital Birkin bag.
Spec. What are the trends that you spotting for the next year or so, man? And how can we best monetize these situations? Real quick in the lightning round, because I know you got to run.
Yeah, I think right now one of the trends is going to happen in terms of education. I think it's going to be a huge trend in education. I think the education system is broken, and Cortez is doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's so many times we get stuck in that place where it's like, man, I'm learning from somebody who's never been where I want to be at. So I want to learn from somebody who's already where I want to be, and they can get me there at an accelerated pace.
Cortez flexing. Exactly.
So So that's what I think is going to happen. I think within the next 10 years, colleges and a lot of those traditional schools are going to be obsolete unless they really fix the overpriced, college degrees. And, right now, people are not even really worried about the college degrees.
Where we know how to take care of ours. They go to Jackson State with Cortez unless they level up.
Yeah.
Cortez.
So that's what I think it's going to be at.
Yeah, that's what, this is exactly what Spec said. Be Great TV is coming. Edutainment, education, technology. Yes.
Matter of fact, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm done. Yeah.
I was about to say, listen, right now, if you guys want to, I am giving you guys access to one of my free trainings. It's actually tomorrow. Well, I'm going to teach you on how to build your social media up to millions of followers and how to monetize on social media up to 6 figures in a year. All you got to do is go to spectacularmasterclass.com. Or you can just text me and I'll send you a private link. You can ask me whatever questions at 786-661-1224. Once again, 786-661-1224. Text me hashtag.
Signing up.
There it is.
Text me masterclass.
All right, well, look, this is always my least favorite part of the show. I hate to leave, but we got to go. I like to thank all of our guests today, brothers, from my soul, from my heart. Thank you so much for enlightening us on how we can all lean into technology and get to this bag. Until next time, I'm wishing you tech savvy to navigate this space in a way that adds value and a bag to your overall life. Stay tuned for the Mike and Donnie show right here on Fox Soul. I'm gonna see y'all next week in a minute.
Salute.
Thanks,